Daddy, who is Jesus? I heard this Jesus character in this book. Well, son, Jesus was a guy that he was basically in this fairy tale called the Bible. It's a fairy tale book. People know how the world, people thought, and the universe was created and everybody, have this malicious God. He's a mass murderer. It's called God, and it's Lord, and basically people got to control him. Basically, this guy, he sacrificed himself to himself. He basically killed himself, and he's a ghost. And Daddy, that sounds retarded. Yes, son, it is quite retarded. See, people believed in this stuff when they didn't even know how the universe and the world came to be. But, now we're in the future, 2050, and science has explained everything, and we know there was never a God and anything. Wow, these people were duped. Yes, son, they sure were. Not only that, the Bible was a terrible book. I see what you mean, Daddy. They had this God, he like stones people, he crushes babies, and he had like all these people enslaved and murdered, and yeah, exactly, son. Son, where'd you find this book? Well, it was in this house that was it was like a really old house. I saw it in a ditch, and it's like really dusty. Exactly, and that's why it's outlawed and banned. And son, let me go ahead and burn this Bible for you. And yeah, I agree, Daddy. This book is very bad. Indeed, son, it is indeed, and that's why we outlawed the Bible and banned it because science explained everything. That there was never a God, and we know the matter was eternal, and the matter and everything started with matter because matter was eternal, and things came to existence, and everything ever since now into our Type 4 galaxy. And we got our own Death Star, and we're kind of our own gods now. We have our own Death Star. We can blow planets if we want and stuff. And haha, yes, and definitely, definitely stay away from this Bible. Let me go ahead and burn it. Okay, Daddy, I agree. This Bible is crazy. People believe in this God all along. Indeed, son, indeed. Why did people believe in this God all along? Well, son, see, there was a catch to it. This God was an evil God, but in this book, he brainwashed you into believing he was a good God. But actually, when you read it all the way through, or even just glance at the evil parts, you can see he was a pretty evil God. Indeed, he was, Daddy. Yes, he was, indeed. But see, the people thought there was eternal life. They had this magical place called heaven, and that's why people believed in this. Oh, I see. See what you mean. But the flip side of this was if you didn't believe and worship him, you have to actually go to this place, and this evil God will torture you forever and burn you in hell. Wow, that must have scared people. Indeed, it did. It scared everybody. Wow. That heaven does sound nice. Exactly. But son, how it is the saying? If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Exactly. Yeah. This book is it's demon possessed and demonic. So why did they have the Satan guy? And why did they make him evil? Well, see, son, that was God's cover up. Satan was actually a good person. But the basketball player long ago, Michael Jordan, right? Well, Michael Jordan was at the top, right? And everybody wanted to be on the top of the hill. So that's why Satan rebelled, because God was higher than Satan. And then, since God didn't like that, he's a selfish and jealous God, as we know, he cast the whole world into hell. That's pretty messed up, Daddy. Cast the whole world into hell, and everybody suffered. Indeed, it was. And I also read about this flood. Daddy, can you believe that this boat? How are they going to fit all these animals in there? Exactly, son. That's why it's a fairy tale. People wrote this book because they wanted to control people, and they thought they knew how the universe came to be, and they called it the Bible. Wow, this is like the most evilest book. It's pretty bad, son. Daddy, how many people did this God kill? Son, he killed about 2 million people. Wow. And that's like everyone, right? Babies, children, aunts, uncles. You got it, son. Everybody, he killed every single thing, even the animals, all the livestock. Daddy, why did he do so much killing? Well, son, nobody knew exactly. But everybody always wanted the eternal heaven, so they just believed in gullibility. They believed it on faith. You mean believing things without evidence? Exactly, son. Exactly. And that's what they did. Wow, people were duped. Indeed, it was. They were duped for quite a long time until the atheist movement came about. In 2014, the atheist movement was like, think about it. Well, son, you're too young, but there's a civil war. There was a civil war movement where people protested because of injustice. It was a big protest. That's how the atheist movement came to be. They came to arise because everybody was pushing this Bible and religion, and nobody wanted that because they didn't believe it. Because believing things without evidence, son, doesn't make any sense. Exactly, Daddy. Exactly. So that's why they had this person called David Silverman. He started the atheist movement. And if it wasn't for him and the atheist TV channel, we would still be, people will still be believing in the Bible. But look how far we are. We're in 2050, and so yeah, that's a history for you. So you have to thank David Silverman and the whole atheist nation, and now everybody can live in free and peace, and there's just no religion at all. Wow, Daddy, that must have been a tough time back there. Everybody trying to force their religion on everybody, and all these crazy wars in the news I read about in history class. Exactly, son. Exactly. A good thing we're in the future. See, back then they were in a Type 0 civilization. What's that, Daddy? Well, Type 0 civilization is actually a long time ago. We're way ahead. We're in a Type 4 civilization. We're galactic. We live on the moon and space. We have hotels, we have life, and we gather all our power from the stars. To tell you the truth, without the stars exploding, son, you wouldn't actually be here. So you have to thank the stars for exploding. How did that happen, Daddy? Well, it all happened at a thing called the Big Bang. And before that, the dark energy, dark matter. But we found out that, matter was always eternal. And matter couldn't be created and destroyed like energy. And that's how everything came to be about. It has to go with the laws of physics and science. But who created those laws, Daddy? Well, the interesting thing is this. See, that's what people had. They couldn't ponder. They think everything had to be created. But we found out there was no creator needed. So it was like uncaused cause. See, son, nobody thought there could be uncaused cause because everybody thought, there had to be a cause for everything. But it doesn't work in space like that. Basically, everything existed through infinity. So, Daddy, the universe is infinity? Indeed it is, son. It's pretty much occurred always. Not only the universe that came to exist, but the multiverses and so on. And as we know, we have our different alien species. So there was never a creator, Daddy. Indeed, son, there never was. And that was the hardest mystery for science to crack. But since we found out an explanation, here, son, I'll take you to the space library, where it has all the history from all the way from the early years, the 90s to 2014. You can read all about the history of how it all started in the atheist movement and how the mystery was solved without the creator, and how everything formed to us to our existence. Daddy, is it true that we existed in different forms? Indeed, son. Your grandfather was actually a fish. It all started, Here, son, I'll take you to read all about it. It started even before abigenesis. Different planets we actually know. There was there was technology, and the aliens had something to do with our existence. Yes, and they gave us all our brain power. But now we actually map the brain. We know consciousness. We're way ahead of science. Thanks, Daddy. That was interesting. Indeed, son, it was. Well, it's time to have a good night and sleep dreams. Sleep tight. And don't float too high on the space waterbed.